We are live. It's Thursday night here in the lovely Northeast Florida, Jacksonville, living in Jacksonville channel with me, Greg DeTulio, and Miss Rachel. How are you tonight, Miss Rachel?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. And we were just commenting how cool our thumbnail is tonight. Am I frozen?
You are frozen. Am I frozen? No, I'm not frozen. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Little technical difficulties there, but we were just talking about how the thumbnail, how cool it turned out. I'm super proud of it because we are talking some really cool stuff about what's going on in the Florida economy, and then more specifically here in Northeast Florida, some really cool stories. And you proudly titled tonight's show "Money, Momentum, and Motorsports."
I love a good alliteration.
I think it was fantastic, and it definitely draws my curiosity. So we have one heck of a show planned tonight. So for all my people tuning in, make sure you go ahead and put in the comments where you're watching from, and of course, if you have any questions or whatnot, this is interactive. So go ahead and put your comments in the commentary. We will definitely address them. So Rachel, take it away.
All right, let me get my screen sharing going. And yeah, this week was really fun. I found a lot of really cool topics. And I mean, I love when you find really cool topics. And I really love this graphic too. Speaking of like cool thumbnails and cool graphics, this wave of money, I just thought was so cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That will draw somebody's attention, especially after two people just won $1.8 billion this week.
Oh, yeah. And the Powerball. Yeah.
Yeah, Powerball. All right. So what's this one about?
Okay, so this is about Florida's multi-trillion-dollar wealth wave from Ponte Vedra. We got a shout out from Ponte Vedra to Miami. The next generation of wealth holders is reshaping legacies, portfolios, and priorities. This article, it's very long. It's really interesting. I'll just get into some of the highlights that I thought was really interesting. Florida will experience a multi-trillion-dollar wealth transfer over 2 decades. The state's tax-friendly laws attract high net worth retirees and newcomers. And financial institutions are adapting strategies to engage younger generations. That's, the business part of it. But what I thought was interesting in here too is that it talks a lot about the demographics that are going to be shifting and changing in Florida. And this statistic here, I thought was fascinating. In just a handful of the state's largest counties, Broward, Duval, Hillsborough, Miami-Dade, Orange, Pinellas, and St. John's, wealth transfers over the next 50 years are projected to exceed $2 trillion. And that's just in those counties. That's not the whole state. So that's pretty impressive.
Very impressive. It goes back to me, and I think you're potentially alluding to it in this article, as that Florida is no longer a retirement state.
Right.
Or just a retirement state.
Right. I mean, it does talk about that it is part of what attracts retirees, and with that comes some wealth transfer, but it also is attracting a lot of high net earners and people who, are, inheriting maybe some money. Maybe they're looking to move to Florida, and because we do have in Florida some easier tax breaks with all of that stuff.
Sure, absolutely. There's a lot of incentives for big business here, and of course, the individual tax break for people on income tax is huge. So, not uncommon. The interesting for me to see is from Ponte Vedra to Miami, to see Ponte Vedra next to Miami. That's very interesting to see that in an article. Because all you hear about is Miami, Tampa, Orlando, and you're not hearing enough about Jacksonville and Ponte Vedra. And nobody knows what Ponte Vedra is. They're like, Ponte Vedra? What's Ponte Vedra? And Ponte Vedra is very, very small, but there is a lot of massive wealth here. It's just not as flashy as Miami, or it has not been as flashy as Miami, right?
Right. That's true. I would say it's a little, it's a little more subtle, but
a little more subtle for sure.
But you'll still see like some fancy purses and some name brand things and some really cool cars that go around in those neighborhoods.
You do. But I was talking to a buddy yesterday, and if people don't know, Volkswagen, a lot of our ports here in Jacksonville bring in a lot of our imports. Jacksonville Port is where a lot of stuff comes through because of our rail in the ports. And he works with Volkswagen, who does Audi, Porsche, and Lamborghini. And it's funny because I said, "Oh, do you have a lot of Lamborghinis coming in?" And he said, "We do, but they're all going to South Florida." So that's indicating to me that South Florida is way more flashier than our area. And the way I would describe it here is the guy with the F-350 or the F-250 pickup truck that you think, oh, is just a dude in a pickup truck, owns a construction company and is probably driving down to St. Augustine Airport to get into his private jet at the St. Augustine hangar. But he doesn't care for anybody to know about that.
Right. So, I mean, for sure, I would say the super wealthy have their toys and their things, but they definitely are a little more laid back about it.
For sure.
And also, I thought this was interesting. I mean, it talks about Miami-Dade and the growth and the population. It also talks about Duval will add more than 210,000 residents, rising from 1.08 million to over 1.29 million residents. St. Johns County, it talks about how it's one of Florida's fastest growing counties, will continue that surge as high net worth newcomers settle along its beaches and golf course communities. And then I also thought this was interesting. In parallel, the gender balance is tilting more female. Women already make up 51.4% of Duval's population, but then by 2050, women will make up nearly 53% of the state's population. So that's just
wonder why that is.
I mean, I really don't know.
So all the single men out there watching from all over the country, take note.
Yes, there's going to be some wealthy females in Florida.
Some serious boss women are moving to Florida, guys.
That's right. So
I'm married to one, so I got no shame in saying that.
I mean, as this article goes on, it kind of talks about how all of that just kind of shifts how money is managed and all of that. But the point I thought that when I saw this article was that, okay, so we're going to have a big wealth shift. With that is just, I mean, there's going to be a big pot, I think, for the state to get their hands on too. So
yeah, and there's a few things that's good and bad, right? I mean, the good and bad about it is when you have massive transfer of wealth to the state, it becomes unaffordable for the other folks, right? So that's the downside of it. The upside of it is the state becomes more prominent in a bigger attraction, and it's good for the state as long as we maintain the infrastructure and whatnot. So, right now we're hearing a lot. If you look at the YouTube, you'll hear all these attraction headlines that people are using to grab people's attention. Florida's going bust. Florida, the end of Florida, because Florida's been on the high for so long that everybody just wants to, kind of crap on Florida right now because it's going to draw attention. It's like, when is it going to bust? But if you look at the industry in the video we did on the $2 billion of money being injected into Jacksonville, for instance, with all the development downtown and whatnot, I don't see it. It's very, very niche oriented, depending on what area you're in. I don't see the bust. Maybe in some of the Southwest Florida areas where insurance and hurricanes are more prone, but I think real astute business people, including all the investors that are investing in all these projects that we talked about on that last video, they see massive opportunities, and they're getting in on it now because this article is a very good indicator of where we're going to see a lot of money shifting in wealth for sure to Florida.
Right.
It's already happened.
And to touch on the infrastructure part of it, I mean, we've covered, the First Coast Expressway, like some of the new roads that are coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly Florida sees the value in spending the money on those things, all the new highways and all of that comes with that. And I mean, we've talked about all the hospitals and things that are coming too. So I think the infrastructure is there.
Yes, for sure.
So that's good news. But
Trying to keep up.
right, exactly. But I did find this article too. Jacksonville surges to third place among fastest growing U.S. cities in new economic study. So Jacksonville ranks third among large U.S. cities. Jacksonville's population grew 9%, fastest among large cities nationwide. 6 Florida cities ranked in the top 10 for economic momentum. So I really like this article. It does, this examined the growth between 2019 and 2023, and it measures performance across 11 key categories, including GDP expansion, housing growth, infrastructure, exports, workforce stability, and educational attainment. Jacksonville earned 60.83 points in the analysis, trailing only Austin and Sacramento in the large city category, according to Co-working Cafe, a Yardi publication.
Okay.
So this is, they did this study over that 4-year period just to see how things are growing in that time frame. And
our unemployment is always lower than the average across the U.S. It's always been that way in Jacksonville. There's so many job opportunities. Now, the job pay may not be in certain industry, may be comparable to where you're coming from, but there are a lot of job opportunities here.
Right. Yeah, for sure. If you're coming from California or New York and, a higher cost of living area, the pay here is definitely lower pay.
Yep.
And the cost of living is lower too, I think.
Overall.
I know we did touch on that before, and groceries are
well compared to the rest of Florida, but our groceries are still expensive because Publix monopolized this area.
Yeah.
Sorry, Publix. You got it going on, baby. Can't fight you.
I do love shopping at Publix. It's so nice there. It's very, it's a very pleasant shopping experience, but it is a little more expensive. But yeah, so the local economy grew by 43% in that same span, ranking second only to Austin. Educational attainments ticked higher with an 8% rise in residents holding a bachelor's degree or higher. So that's pretty amazing too. I mean, it does seem that Jacksonville has, we kind of touched on it on that last article, that high, net worth and those high educated residents are moving to this area.
Yes.
And have moved to this area already.
Mm-hmm.
And then the infrastructure kept pace with growth, which is great news too. Roadway mileage expanded by 2.7%, ranking 8th nationally. And Jacksport, one of the country's largest ports, drove a 25% increase in exports.
There you go.
And I thought was a really great number to know. That supports about 138,500 jobs.
Yeah.
So, Jacksonville is just on it, man.
People don't realize it. Totally underrated, overlooked all the time.
All the way, I know it.
But we're just boring.
Hey.
Just keep telling people that. That's fine.
It's so good. All the stuff I'm seeing so far, it's just, you can just tell, people have saw the value and started coming here, and it continues.
If you're an entrepreneur, you'd have to have your head under a rock not to find opportunity here. I've been trying to get gutters fixed in my house, man. They are so busy. All the local gutter people in town on my list. I have a list for all my vendors. I hate to send people out. These are the best vendors in town. Right. And they're like, yeah, how about next week? And you're like, no, I want someone now, but they're so busy. I'm like, wait a minute, should I be doing auxiliary businesses besides selling real estate, like gutters? Can I get a crew together and do gutters on the side? They're not cheap, but if you are at all entrepreneurial at all whatsoever, there are so many opportunities here to grow. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I've had a couple like cabinet people come out, and it's like, okay, well, we can come out and see you next week. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And actually, I just
And
got
it's $10 million, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, we had an issue with our air conditioning, and we had to replace some carpet, and I put tile in. And I mean, even just to get that project done, it took some time, to
Yeah.
get a tile person out. But I did love the tile guy that came out, and he did a great job. So
Awesome. Shout out to Tile Guy.
I know, our tile guy. But all right, so moving on. Florida firm lands billion-dollar deal to aid NASA's return to the moon. So this is pretty cool. NASA awarded a $1.8 billion Cosmos contract to Ascend Aerospace and Technology. Their contract will support the Artemis moon program, Orion spacecraft, and Space Launch System. Ascend will provide astronaut training and International Space Station operations support. So this is another shout out for Florida. A Florida-based contractor won this big giant award. And let's see.
That doesn't speak for also Blue Origins and SpaceX down there in the Melbourne or Flagler area. So
Right.
there you go. You're about to nail it right there.
There you go. Yeah, they're in the Cape Canaveral area. Ascend Aerospace and Technology is a joint venture of aerospace engineering firm Aerodyne Industries and global tech consulting and engineering firm Jacobs Technology of Dallas. The company in Florida has 375 workers at its Cape Canaveral facility, and some of this work will take place in Houston. So that'll be over in Texas. But I dug a little bit more into this because I wanted to know a little bit more about this company. And there was a little teeny piece of information that I thought was pretty cool. This Ascend company, the Florida-based company, is a all small mentor protege program joint venture founded in 2013 to pursue large contracts with NASA. So that 375 people, it sounds like it's a really tight-knit group with like a mentor protege program, which sounds pretty cool. So if you're into NASA and you're looking into...
You're an aerospace engineer. That is where it's at, people. That's where it's at. Yeah.
So NASA, I mean...
And we're building jets here in Jacksonville now too. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of jets, American Airlines is to add the only nonstop flight to Bimini from Florida. So that'll start. It'll be American Airlines nonstop flight, U.S. to Bimini, Bahamas, starting in February 2026. It's going to depart from Miami International Airport. So if you're looking for a Bahamas getaway.
You have to go down to Miami, though. You were getting me all excited. I thought we just talked about how the airport was expanding in Jacksonville, and I got excited. I'll even jump on a flight from Jacksonville and go to Bimini. Not quite yet.
Not quite yet. It'll go out of Miami, but I'm hoping if this does well, and I'm assuming that it would, then hopefully they'll bring it up here too. But can you believe the only nonstop service to Bimini from the United States will come from Miami, and they're just starting it?
Doesn't surprise me.
Oh, I think that's kind of surprising.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's not a massive population destination. I mean, there's all the Caribbean and whatnot, but maybe you're wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's easy to just jump on a boat. You can go to the Bimini from Miami on a boat as well. So
true.
Yeah.
Still sounds like, okay, easy. Let's jump on a plane, get to Bimini, have a little vacay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just don't want to drive to Miami and fly out of Miami Airport, but yes. Sorry, right. Miami. Pro Jacksonville. American Airlines, bring it to Jacksonville, baby.
All right. Motorsports complex in Putnam County could be like nothing else in Florida. Now this is pretty cool. A $200 million motorsports complex over more than 400 acres planned in Putnam County. Does everybody know where Putnam County is?
No, they don't.
All right, well, let's start with that. All right, so here's Jacksonville and Palm Valley and St. Augustine. That red dot there, that's where that little motorsports place is going to go.
Palatka.
So Putnam County. So pretty much right next door. And
Hey, do you know what though? Guess where that's going to be near?
Is it near
Go ahead, zone it in there.
Palatka Municipal Airport?
Yeah, but also move over to the river. Is it going to be close to the new highway?
Oh, nope, that's further north.
Oh, that's further north. Okay, too far south. All right.
Yeah, because here's Green Cove.
Okay, yeah, too far south.
So
yeah, totally south of west of St. Augustine, even west of Crescent Beach area. So all the way down there in Palatka.
Yeah,
all right,
a little further. But
well, heck yeah, all the people on the west side of St. Johns River are going to enjoy some race car driving.
Well, I mean, if you enjoy race car driving, you won't mind driving just a little bit to go see this.
I wouldn't.
Sports complex.
No. Tell me more. I want to hear about it.
Okay, it's going to include a professional racetrack, 100 garage plexes, and a whole bunch of amenities. So this is coming from NASCAR driver Scott Lagasse and Lagasse Jr.
For all my race car people that are watching this and she didn't pronounce that right, forgive her. Neither one of us watch NASCAR. So
I think I did. I did Google it before trying to make sure I got it right.
Try to get there and say it right. Look, y'all, don't be mad, all right? Don't be hating. You can go ahead and make fun on the comments, but we're doing the best we can. But look, because of that, Miss Rachel, when it's open up, you, Phil, and I and Monica are going to a NASCAR race, okay?
Okay, we'll go sometime. But this particular facility is going to be a little bit before they get it going. They started some land clearing. It's a $200 million proposal. The Putnam County Planning Commission calls it the most exciting project I've ever seen. So they're pretty excited out in Putnam County for this. So, and it's not just going to be like a place with a bunch of races. This is going to be a place, here's how they describe it. It would be a golf course type setting with relaxed enjoyment and opportunities for people everywhere, from people like me who have been professionals to people who just enjoy cars and driving on the tracks. We'll help them with their cars. Most of them are street legal, high performance cars from Porsches, Corvettes, Maseratis, Ferraris, just about anything. So he envisions an environment where members have track access for at least a portion of every day, and you could have other activities. They have driver training sessions, professional racing teams, or they have training for first responders or team drivers. There could be charity events, occasional races, if that's what the members of this facility would want. So
this is so exciting because this is not a cheap sport, which means that it's going to bring a lot of money to Palatka. That's for dang sure.
Right. And it says also, too, for those just coming up in racing, there's going to be a karting track. So
sure, a lot of wealthy people that have their street legal race Porsches or whatnot, they're going to want to buy track time, and that's not cheap, but it's a fantastic, brilliant idea for that area. And again, just goes to show what massive development is going to happen, for sure.
Right. I mean, they're talking a museum, event space, amenities, and with being near that Palatka Municipal Airport, I guess if you have a fancy jet, you could jet in and then just hop on over.
I don't know. We'll have to check on that. We'll see if they can land a jet in Palatka Airport. But hold on, Palatka, it's coming.
I mean, it's pretty great. Like, I think it's pretty crazy and pretty awesome. So it sounds like they have everything all set to go. It's just, going through the motions of getting all the approvals in place.
For sure. All the red tape and the money.
Yeah. So Motorsports.
Cool. All right. We're doing good. So we've gone over the money wave. We're talking about how Jacksonville is number 3 with the momentum of city development and ranked one of the top cities to live with all the industry. And we talked motorsports. Is there anything else left?
I mean, I still have stuff to talk about.
Okay.
I've hit
Hold on. Go ahead. But we do have to take one little break to acknowledge a comment here.
Oh, go ahead. This is a great time to acknowledge a comment.
All right, cool. Hello, Greg and Rachel. Hi, hello, DeAndre Davis. I hope I said your name correctly. Thank you for joining us tonight. Boeing got a contract at Embry-Riddle Daytona. Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. That's another good thing I got to tell you, that there are a lot of good universities here. University of North Florida is very good. I have a customer that's actually talking about transferring to UNF and doing nursing school up here. We have Jacksonville University. We have what's Flagler. We have, and now, my neighbors, their son went to Emory, got into Emory-Riddle. They want to be rocket engineers. So
Cool.
a lot of folks that move down here are following their kids to some of these really good schools here in Florida universities as well. And think about it, if you go to Emory-Riddle, you've got one of the biggest aerospace engineering job markets right there in Melbourne and Flagler. What do we call it?
Like Cape Canaveral.
Cape Canaveral. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. So, and I know that I think Embry-Riddle has a little program here, maybe out at Cecil Field as well. I'm pretty sure. So
Perfect.
Yeah. So, they've got the main campus, I believe it's in Daytona. And then they've got, I think a little program, I think that's out at Cecil, pretty sure.
Yeah. So if your kids are going to be in an aerospace engineering program at Emory-Riddle, if you move here, give me a call. You'll be about an hour and a half away. Not too close, but not too far. Live the Florida life. Take advantage of those tax benefits.
Right. So.
And race your car on weekends.
You got options.
You got options, baby.
Yeah. But that said, I saw this headline. Surf park developer says project is in jeopardy.
Oh no.
So that E-Town development in Jacksonville, it says the developer says new cost estimates have put the overall project in jeopardy. That's what it says here. But the city is stepping up. It sounds like they're going to try to offer them a $4.6 million incentive to help cover that. And I found another article that gave a little bit more detail from Jacksonville.com. It says surf's not up yet, but cost for building the Southside Surf Park prompting incentives ask. So what they're doing is they're trying to find a way to get some incentives to cover the additional costs that popped up with building.
Wonder if that was contrived. Hey, we would love to build one of the top 20 surf parks in the world off 9B exit right there in Duval near E-Town, next to the new development of Everrange and the other development of E-Town. But hey, city, we just need a cool $5 million.
Right. I mean, hard to say. I don't know. I haven't seen any of their actual paperwork, but they say, the developer says they're looking for money to offset the unexpectedly high construction costs due to the area's high water table. But city officials support the project for its potential to boost tourism, host surfing tournaments, and create about 100 permanent jobs. And the incentives would be provided as a 75% property tax rebate over 10 years after the park is built. So the way they're doing it is they're just saying, okay, we'll give you a little bit of a tax break for a little bit. So it's not
to help you get started.
Right. So it's not like they're just handing them $4.6 million. It's sort of like, all right, we'll cut you a little bit of a break.
Right.
So that's how
how do you feel about, I did a whole show on this. If anybody hasn't watched it yet, I went really into depth about all the other ones in the rest of the world and some of them that didn't make it, but the technology has come a long way. So I'm kind of curious to know, what's people's thoughts about a massive surf park with, artificial waves that they'll adjust. It's going to be a membership fee. You can do monthly or I guess a one-time fee and surf these waves. There's going to be a resort in there. There's going to be a hotel and retail. It's going to be like a surf club, if you will. So I would love to know what your thoughts are on that and how you feel about that.
For me, I have attempted surfing and I never really got the hang of it. My husband surfed growing up and he says he's done similar kind of things like this, but obviously other places, other cities. And with him growing up surfing, he's like, surfing is one of those sports that is so weather dependent and depends so much on whether or not there's good waves or not. And, just the weather in general, and having a facility like this, especially if you're somebody who's like really into it and just really wants to get good at it. It's hard to get good at something that is,
Consistently.
that's so dependent on just how the waves are. From a day-to-day standpoint, it's not quite the same thing as like, oh, well, most days you can go play soccer, outside.
Yeah.
Where surfing is a little bit, is a lot different. So this gives an edge to any of those surfers out there who are looking for that kind of competitiveness. And, they grow up here and they're looking for, it gives you that consistency, that kind of consistent wave where you can really practice.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I think it's interesting because we're 5 miles from the beach, but right now surfing has been really good in St. Augustine and in Jack's Beach area by the pier. But I guess it's all really dependent on how affordable it is, right? So that will be the question for sure. Kelly Slater has a surf park in outskirts of Austin, and it's wildly successful. I heard it's amazing. I've never been there actually myself.
Right.
But then again, that's way inland in Austin, central Texas a little bit. So I'm kind of curious what it's going to be like being in, not too far from the beach, if you will. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I think in a lot of ways it's kind of like, the fake snow machines.
Yeah.
It's like a similar kind of thing. Well, you can't have great surf all the time, or you can't have great snow all the time for skiing. So we're just doing the man-made thing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But I love the articles. The threat of not having this, I think, would get a lot of people like, oh, no, it caught my attention.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting article for sure. Okay, I'm moving on to another tab, and then I kind of zoomed way out, way too fast. All right, so here's the developer tracker, the development tracker in the Nocatee area. And there are two things I saw pop up that I thought were really interesting. So first off is here, Crosswater Parkway Child Center. So at the corner of Crosswater Parkway and Nocatee Landing Trail. So pull that up. I like this map. So this map, I just like, it's on the Nocatee resident page. You can kind of see like any of these little reddish areas. Those are going to be areas that could be developed or mixed use. So you can see it here is, in that reddish area. So
it's such a random area. And I've seen this sign there for years saying available for development, commercial mixed use. And so you're saying a childcare is going there, it's very thick residential. So I'm glad to hear it's not like some retail store or something. You know what I mean?
Right. So it seems, anytime you see this on the development tracker, it just means they're putting in permits, and it usually is something that's happening. It's going through.
Yeah.
But there are times where you'll see permits, and then for whatever reason, things kind of don't come to fruition. But it looks like if you're driving around Nocatee and you've seen anything happening at that roundabout, it looks like it's going to be a child care center.
Okay.
So
don't have enough of it.
Yeah,
Nocatee averages about, I think, 2.5 or 3.5 children per household, something ridiculous like that. So
yeah, I'm not surprised.
I am. I have 2. That's enough.
I have 2, and yeah, they keep me busy. So.
You're so polite.
They keep me busy. They keep me on my toes.
I have enough. They keep me broke. Just kidding. Bad joke.
That's true. Yeah, that's kind of true too. Yeah. But I also saw this that popped up, and this I saw just pop up today. An Episcopal K-8 private school. So this is over by the Palm Valley Golf Club and Palm Valley Road, in the Nocatee area. So let me see if I can pull that up on a real map. Okay.
We don't have any private K-8 schools in Nocatee per se. All our schools are public. So this will be technically the first element or K through 8 school that's private in Nocatee.
Right. So it looks like it'll be here off this Palm Valley Road. You see Valley Ridge Boulevard here. Valley Ridge Academy is over here. It looks like it'll go in this green space here. And it did say private. I'm going to go double check. Episcopal. So there is an Episcopal church right here. This St. Francis in the Field is an Episcopal church. So I wonder if it's
related.
Yeah. So
well, usually churches, if they can afford it, they would build a school. I know the Catholic Church here was trying to also raise money to build a Catholic elementary school at the very least on the north side of Nocatee. What's also interesting, if you look further to the left, that big parcel, Red Rock Church is also building a massive church down there down the road as well. So if you're a person of faith, there are plenty of churches around this area for sure.
Right. And that potential, like I said, anytime you see the permits on this development tracker, they're just getting permits and doing it's part of the process. So,
Sure.
but they're looking at adding that. So that's kind of just, not
another a little private school, which is needed.
Right. Also, still talking about Nocatee, St. Johns County traffic signal at US 1 and Pine Island Road is fully operational. So US 1, I call it Phillips Highway. There is a new traffic light. It was desperately needed, and it is up and running. So
yeah, that's putting it lightly for sure. I'm not going to get into the morbidity of why that light was finally put up, but fantastic.
Right. So that light was desperately needed. So that is finally up and running. So yay for that.
That's the south end of Nocatee. So people need to realize there's two main ways to get into Nocatee. It's on the north end by the town center with the Nocatee Parkway. This is on the south end, actually really pretty much in the St. Augustine city limits. So there's Ponte Vedra and then the St. Augustine city limits, and Pine Island Academy is down there. So that's your easy exit if you're living on the south part of Nocatee. You don't have to go all the way through the north side of the town center.
Right. So I was going to try and pull it up, but then I kind of got lost in here. But yeah, because it's pretty far south. You're right.
It is all the way down the other end. It's actually technically St. Augustine city limits. So if you live in the south end of Nocatee, it actually saves you about a 10-minute drive. If you want to go to St. Augustine, you just get out on Phillips off that highway, that road there, and make a left. That's why they had to put the traffic light, because the speed limit was 60, and people were whizzing down there at 80, and you're trying to pull out or cross the intersection. And unfortunately, they had a few tragic accidents there, and finally they got the light up. So glad to see that.
Yeah. So there it is on the real map, Pine Island, US 1, and you can see. Okay, yeah, that's pretty far south in Nocatee.
It is, yeah, significant. Good stuff.
Yeah, and then continuing on roadway expansion to ease congestion from 210 to State Road 16. There's a County Road 2209, which they've actually, that road is also called St. John's Parkway. They're continuing progress on that. This is just progress update.
This is near World Golf Village?
Yes. So here, I'll pull it up on the map.
Absolutely ridiculously needed, because World Golf Village is blowing up. Everybody's complaining about the traffic down there, and then with Silverleaf nearby and all the other traffic, it's so needed. It's fantastic, actually.
Right. So I went ahead and mapped this out because I just thought it was a good way to kind of illustrate the part of the road that is still ongoing. So this is St. John's Parkway here. And then if you kind of see this road here, this is the part they're still working on. So all of that is not connected just yet. So if you're trying to get from this apartment complex over to Home Depot or back, you got to go all the way around this
or way. The new Walmart, or the Buc-ee's, or the Costco, or the what else is over there, the Bass Pro Shop. My gosh, I mean, there are so many businesses there that you need help with the traffic for sure.
Yes. So still ongoing, but it's coming. They're working on it. So
It'll also relieve a lot of traffic when they have just north of there. If you didn't watch my video on Tuesday where I outlined the new First Coast Highway,
Right.
instead of getting off on the World Golf Village exit on 95 to go to Silverleaf, you will be able to just get off on the new First Coast Highway exit, which will go right through Silverleaf rather
Right.
than going through World Golf Village and relieve a lot of traffic. So, I mean, you've got to know that this is incredible that this county is growing as fast as they are, but they're throwing up highways and road systems and schools and everything. Come on, people, for all you negative
I know
internet people out there, can you imagine how much money and how quickly this St. Johns County is moving to get things done? I tell you what, I give them kudos.
Right, I agree. But yeah, you can see this was not here. This little piece was not on the Google map
No.
ago. So that's there, and that's part of that.
And on the other side of that St. John's Parkway, right there, it's now all cleared out
This
right
is
now. So yeah, if you watch the video from Tuesday, you'll see we have footage of it all being burned down, the trees and everything, to continue through that area all the way to 95. So this is going to relieve a lot of traffic on these road systems we're talking about. So I think it's absolutely fantastic.
yes. Okay, and then another just sort of interesting piece of information. There was a St. Johns County agri-hood proposed and it got denied, but a special magistrate judge says that that denial was unreasonable. So it sounds like there's an agri-hood for St. Johns County that may have to be revisited potentially. So, I know you like the agri-hoods.
I do, and I want to know why. What's the downside to them? Because I've talked to a lot of people with agri-hoods. I've learned about Serenbe outside of Atlanta,
Right.
and I would love to know what's the pushback on these developments.
So the pushback that I read in here was that I guess the county leaders thought that it was going to, hold on, it was just going to be like like the area is rural and they want to keep it that way. But when you read into what the judge ruled, the county was anticipating having to change from that rural designation to possibly the planned urban development in 2026. So the magistrate judge says basically like it was an unreasonable denial. So now the county is going to have to come back and look at that. So could be kind of interesting. There's also a piece of it so that's County Road 2209 that we were just talking about, that St. John's Parkway. So part of the area is designated for that road. This is what they were talking about. This in 2019, the county says they're going to put a right-of-way donation for County Road 2209, a north-south corridor intended to ease I-95 congestion. But the company that wanted to start this process of putting an agri-hood in committed more than $49 million in transportation costs and to build a $61.5 million 4-mile stretch of the road through the property, which it would give to the county along with stormwater ponds and buffers. So it just seems to me that I don't really totally understand why it was denied. I think maybe people in the area weren't thrilled about it, and I understand that. In this article, this kind of gets more into the county commissioners talking about this at the last meeting. And they're just trying to justify where they were, why they voted no. They basically just said that they reiterated the opposition to the development. The magistrate's ruling altered the stakes because now it's kind of a little bit more of a legal battle. The commissioners say, I feel good about the decision I made when I voted no, but it just sounds like the way the process is going, they're going to have to revisit it and see what happens with that. So
Yeah, I think it gets a little bit more in depth of, maybe there's incentives because it's an agri-hood for the developers. I don't know, but I just looked up some stuff and they said there's a lot of negativity comments saying that agri-hoods are unsustainable development model. Many agri-hoods are large or ex-urban developments, contribute to sprawl, increased reliance on long commutes by car. They place strain on local infrastructure. The footprint contradicts the sustainable ideals they claim to promote: minimal agricultural impact. The output from these small master plan community farms is often insignificant and fails to address broader issues of food insecurity, as the vast majority of the land is dedicated to housing. So they're also saying it's more high-end, farm-centric element is just a marketing gimmick to sell high-priced homes with small aesthetic farms serving as a luxury amenity. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've looked at real estate in Serenbe, and it ain't cheap. But people that live there love it because it really creates community around the mindset of a green culture, if you will, with the whole agri-hood idea.
right.
So I think I don't know. I think it's a mindset, and it's another way to create community with that, which is what these master plan communities do, right? They're thriving on creating community, and the developers being smart about that. So maybe the incentives for the county, maybe it's they're not seeing the county and the developers. They have to come to a reasoning where it has to make sense for the county and for the developers. So.
Right. And I found the sentence I was looking for earlier. Last fall, commissioners denied the project after residents voiced concerns over traffic, the loss of rural character, and impacts to wildlife. I mean, yeah. So all of those things are valid, and I get it. But the judge says the county flouted property rights by denying rezoning, despite a 2019 comprehensive plan amendment that designated the land for residential use and anticipated a rezoning request by 2026. So it's a little bit of inside baseball, but
Yeah.
just something to know that could be coming back up again. So sounds like it's not down and out yet, but could be.
All right, peoples, if you're watching tonight, I'd like to know if you want the surf park to happen. Do you want an agri-hood? Would you think that'd be a cool idea? I'd love to hear your feedback on some of this development. I'm not even going to ask you about race car driving in Palatka. I think it's perfect. I don't care what you think, people. I think it's an excellent idea.
It's amazing. And and then I found this. I mean, kind of speaking of agri-hoods and farms and all that, in St. Johns County, they have a Harvest Trail farm tour starting at the end of this month, going through November 22nd. So if you didn't know, there are farms already in St. Johns County, and there's a bunch that you can go check out. And they're doing like a little passport thing where you can hit up different farms in the area. This is St. Johns County, so that's the map of the county. But you can see all these little farms that are here, and you can get a little passport, and you can get stamps on your passport. And they have different things like little prizes if you get your passport stamped.
So get the family gathered up on the weekend and go support our local farms, get your passport, and go check out the beautiful farms that we have here in St. Johns County. People, it was 69 degrees this morning. How beautiful was it waking up to 67, 69 degrees finally here in Northeast Florida?
I mean, it's so beautiful. It was so nice going for a long walk this morning, taking the kids to school, and it's like, oh, I'm not totally sweating.
Agreed. It was so nice.
So yeah, so there's a bunch. So if you're into that and you want to get your little passport and you get your little passport stamp,
where do you go?
This is hastingsflorida.org Harvest Trail. So you can see all the participating farms on that website. I just thought it was kind of cool. People just really don't know like how rural parts of St. Johns County can be. So it's just,
For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, we go strawberry picking, blueberry picking. I mean, it's a little bit of a drive out west, but we go and visit those farms, and man, nothing like fresh produce off the vine.
And I know you probably hear this, that people are looking for houses with a little more land.
Yeah.
And also in St. Johns County, I just saw that this was coming soon from Toll Brothers, Iron Branch, and homes are pricey, anticipated from $1.3 million. But it's a gated community offering 1.5 acre home sites. So this is.
Yeah, they're fulfilling a need. Again, the industry's coming here, the development's coming here, the wealth is transferring here to Florida, and people are, these master plan communities' biggest complaint is that I don't want to be banged up close to my neighbor, tight squeezed in, right? So the builders are now seeing there's a luxury market available, and they're definitely capitalizing on that. This is like kind of West St. Augustine, St. John's area. And they're creating an opportunity for people to be able to build on 1.5 acres, a decent sized family home, and have space. So a great opportunity there. It's still the very early stages. They're kind of just pumping it up. But if you're interested in that, certainly reach out if you're looking for more information. The lots look fantastic. There's not a lot of them, so it'll be a very quaint, private neighborhood if that's your kind of vibe. And there's not a lot of places in Florida where you can be that close to a massive city like St. Augustine, one of the biggest touristy cities, historical in the country, or Jacksonville, everything else we have to offer in the area, and be able to build a brand new Toll Brothers house at 4,000 square feet. Yeah, it's going to be expensive. You're looking in the 1.5 to 2+ million, depending on what you build. But in luxury market, 1.5 is chump change these days.
Yeah, and I saw it must be coming along quick, because I can see already, if you compare that map to the other one I just showed from the Toll Brothers neighborhood, see like the little cul-de-sacs already.
Look at them big pie shapes. Call me, people. Let's build one. Let's get it going.
All right, so I'll zoom out so you can actually see where this is. So, okay, yep.
Just west of St. Augustine.
Yes. Yeah. So you got St. Augustine this way, and then you got St. Johns River this way.
Yeah. It's country out there, folks. If you're looking for space, it's beautiful.
Yes. But, you're still near enough to like Home Depot if you got to get there.
Yep. Just in case.
Just in case. Yeah. I mean, you always need something from Home Depot.
Well, look, it'll be easier to get the Palaca to catch a NASCAR race.
There you go.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have for us today.
All right. That was awesome. Folks, if you enjoyed that, make sure you put it in the comments. Say thank you, Miss Rachel, for preparing such an amazing show tonight. Every week, we're going to be on live Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. We really want to make sure you're in the know of what's going on. This is all, this is all, local information, up to date, literally handpicked on a Monday, coming to you live on a Thursday. So you can really realize what this area is going through in economic development, lifestyle. And if you're considering this area, we'd love to be your resource of choice. We're not we're not YouTubers. We're a real estate company. We're just bringing you news in development and real estate and lifestyle here in Northeast Florida. So you can call, text, email, information we pinned to the comments or the description. It's never too early to start that conversation. But we want to make sure that you're taken care of in exploring this area. And I would no better person to do that than yours truly. So thank you, Ms. Rachel. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll have a video out on Tuesday. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe so you can be aware of the next video coming out. And we have more videos under the lives regarding the surf park if you want to learn more about that. The First Coast Highway we were talking about, if you want to learn about that. So plenty of videos, as well as the $2 billion of injected money in development and job opportunities coming in the future as well. Check out those videos as well on the channel under the live tab. And of course, we have the community tours, home tours, and everything. So we have it all, folks. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.